Gordon Banks today.
We've asked the Cabinet Office about the criteria for getting a knighthood and why Gordon's still waiting. It says there are 4 criteria the Sporting Committee particularly look at for all honours: sporting excellence, what they give back to the community and all their sport, their length of service and career achievements, and finally, the honours they already hold. If a nominee has already received an honour and is being nominated for a different award, new evidence of outstanding contribution in a different area or project must be provided to the committees for consideration. And people who are awarded more than one honour do not receive it for the same reason as the previous one. Well, one person who can tell us what it takes is Mark Llewellyn-Slade from Awards Intelligence. It's a company which claims it can boost your chances of a successful awards nomination. And what Mark told me earlier, I think, is really interesting.
Anyone can be nominated for an honour if they've excelled in their chosen field. So the million-dollar question is, have these people gone above and beyond the call of duty? Because people don't get honours for simply doing their job, or at least they shouldn't. But you have to be in it to win it, and people can't nominate themselves. So if you know of someone who you feel is worthy, then put them forward. You can nominate friends, family members, business and community contacts. And if you're not sure if someone's eligible, then give us a shout and we'll give you a free, honest assessment of their chances. Just give us a call.
What is the process then? Is it just a form or is there more to it?
Well, the decision is actually down to the Honours and Appointments Secretariat. So you have to send in a detailed written nomination form. So typically we'd spend about 100 to 150 hours crafting that form. So it's not something that can be whipped up on a wet Sunday afternoon. And at the Honours and Appointments Secretariat, which is headed up by a guy called Sir Jonathan Stevens, they make an initial assessment of the nomination and carry out, basic fact checks. Once this has been completed, the nominees are then put forward to one of 9 specialist subcommittees for consideration. So, for example, if a candidate's being nominated for services to medicine, they would go to the Health Committee. A teacher would go to Education and so forth. The recommendations are then sent to the Prime Minister's office and then on to Buckingham Palace to be rubber stamped. When somebody is nominated, you don't stipulate the level on the form. They don't ask you, are you nominating this person for an MBE or a knighthood? And I think the reason for that is that a lot of people who make nominations don't actually know the difference between an MBE and an OBE, for example, so there's not much point in asking them. And
Go on, tell us. We don't know either. Tell us, what's the difference?
Well, the level of honour is driven primarily by 2 key aspects. Firstly, and not surprisingly, the magnitude of that person's achievement, but secondly, by the geographical spread of their influence. So someone operating at, say, a village level, say running the under-12s football team for 20 years or the local branch of the WI, they would be down at the bottom end, probably BEM, British Empire Medal. Whereas somebody known nationally or internationally as a leader in their field would be at the mid to high end. So think Richard Branson, known internationally as a leading entrepreneur.
Let's take Gordon Banks as an example. The Cabinet Office say they won't talk to us about individual cases, and I kind of understand that. Given that Harry Kane has got an MBE and didn't even win the World Cup, should Gordon Banks, who has won the World Cup and is widely respected, does charity work, seemed to be one of the best goalkeepers, if not the best of all time, should he have a knighthood?
Well, the key question is, what has he done since 1970 when he received his OBE for services to football? So he's been recognised for what he did until 1970. If he then went on to achieve even more success as a footballer since 1970, so he built on the achievements for which he's been recognised, and then perhaps went on to do community and charity work either as a player or once he'd retired, then he can be considered for an upgrade, because very few people go from nothing straight to a knighthood anyway. Most people with a knighthood got a mid-ranking honour like an MBE or an OBE first. The key question here is, has Banksy done enough since he was recognised initially with the OBE? That's the million-dollar question.
Well, has he? Over to you. 0800 12